Can you hear me, Lucas?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hey, brother. So when you don't have knowledge or you haven't had the situation, I always go to the broker room because
Yeah,
I've never done a triplex myself. So it's like, okay, first of all, I want to train you the proper way. I'm not a broker, so getting it from the broker's mouth is the best way to do it. So
yeah, no,
I figured that was a great idea.
that was a really good idea. I didn't have any experience, meeting with any of the brokers in one of those rooms as of yet. So
it's awesome. Whenever you have any questions, you can go to broker room. If you have any legal questions, make sure you have car legal on your phone.
Okay.
I don't know if you have that saved on your phone as a speed dial, because if you're in a transaction, and I'm recording this, as long as, if you're okay with this, I'm recording this. If not,
Yeah,
I'll pause it.
No, that's fine.
Okay. Car legal is important to have in your phone, because if you ever get into a situation where you have an inkling that it's going to go to legal, if you call car legal first in that transaction, they can't represent the other person. They can only represent one party if something goes to legal. So if you get in a situation and you're like, oh gosh, this is going to get ugly, go to car legal, tell them who you are, your license number and all that stuff. And if you're the first there, they could represent you if it goes ugly. And knock on wood, since I've been licensed since 2004, I've never had to deal with car legal. One of my mentees, she was calling car legal every day because she had a really challenging seller. And so it's there for us. We pay for it in our dues. So when in doubt, always feel free to go to car legal, because what it is, it's a real estate attorney or a broker that helps us with some challenges that we might deal with. So, and right now we're dealing with so many different types of challenges, especially because COVID, because there's gonna be a lot of stuff we're not gonna have any information on how to deal with it yet, because it's all new to us. So that's what car legal is really good for.
No, that's great. I'll have to download it. I was not aware of it.
Let me see. You're getting trained from, experience, getting the experience to be out there and do the car legal and all that fun stuff. So give me 1 second. Let me I want to try to invite Shantae. Let me invite Moses. I think he's working this morning, but if he is not, so we can go through all this stuff together. And Moses, Jen, I think she's getting a listing appointment today.
I'm gonna try to invite myself on the big screen.
Sure. Absolutely. Do you want me to send a invite to your other? Do you have another email address you want me to use to invite you?
Did you send me an email invite for this one?
I just sent you a text. So do you want me to send you an email also?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 second. Give me your email address again, Lucas.
Sure, it's gonna be Lucas, or actually, yeah, just send it to my eXp, Lucas Labanauskas at exprealty.com. So LUKAS.
Spell that last name for me.
LAB as in boy, ANAUSKAS.
At eXp.
Let's see if I get it.
Realty.com.
I should have merged my Gmail with my work mail.
Is it .Labanowski or is it without a dot?
I believe it's with a dot. So Lucas.Labanauskas.exp Realty.
Let's see if that works. So we got Shantae, Moses, Jen, you, and I want to make sure I don't forget anybody. I think that's it. There's another one that wants me to help him as well. That doesn't have a mentor. I don't know why these mentors aren't getting back to these people. It's really frustrating.
I have a couple in my area that I got back, and I'm still waiting on their callbacks.
So send Well,
I also,
hopefully what we're doing here is at least getting you in the process. I just sent those out. Let's see. I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna go back to Zoom.
got it.
It came to you?
Yep.
Admit. So now you got your big screen.
Recording in progress.
Oh, you gotta mute one of them. Oh. Try again. Okay. All right. Now I don't hear the echo. So, so it's me, you, and you. And see if anyone else wants to come in. If they do, I'll keep an eye on it. So we need to go to open up your zip forms, or open up the house that you want to put an offer in on. Open that up on your MLS on your computer.
1 second. Let me try to mute my.
I'm going to mute myself. Maybe it was causing issues because I wasn't muted, but I'm going to mute myself for a second.
Can you hear me now? Yes, excellent. Okay, do you want me to just share my screen?
Yeah, absolutely. Share your screen so we can see what you got going on. Open up the house. Let us.
All right, let me know. So here is the house. And
you need a property profile on that. So I'm going to send you my my person, my title person. So you'll have your first title connection. Let me send that to you real quick.
Got tons of notes here. I'm trying to keep them all straight.
No problem. I'm gonna what I'll do is I'll send you my title person's email address in the chat window, so that way you can just click it.
Okay. And you're sending me this information on via text or via email?
I'll send it to you email. That's probably the best way. So I'll just, since I sent you the other invite, I'll send it to that same email.
Okay. I'm just trying. Yep, just let me know when you get a chance to send that.
All right, I just sent his information. It's actually a forward of a meeting that we're having coming up. This is a title company that does a lot for his agents. And you can use him as well for title. He's got a lot of tools. He's got a lot of exposure you can get through when you start real estate. And he's just great. He's just a great guy, great people, great company. So I sent you his information and it will have all the contact information. And what you do is you ask for a property profile for that property because you want to see if there's anything on that property that is going to affect the purchase. So,
Hey, Sam.
yes,
You sound very quiet. Can you hear me now?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, there we go. It was okay. Yeah, now
Is it
my
be-
audio.
is it- Okay, is it better if I put on my headset? I don't
No,
know.
I think
I have a Bluetooth on, so.
I think it was just my phone. It was switched to speaker instead of well, internal instead of external.
Okay, no problem. It
You
looks like
were-
I had to,
This
looks
guy.
like I had to let you back in.
Oh, interesting.
That was kind of interesting.
Huh.
Okay, let me close this one. So, okay, so San Pedro. So it's 1.1.
So this is a triplex, basically 3-2 in the front, fully remodeled, and then we have 2 units that are 2-1s in the back.
Awesome.
You know, it's a fairly nice place, but the 2 units, there's still some value add potential to to increase the overall property value and the rent in these 2 essentially. So
It looks great.
yeah, I mean, I've done a little bit of research, quite a bit of research in this area, and this area is really good. It's got a ton of funding right within a mile walking distance for new parks, new areas. So it looks like a decent place. The numbers definitely work. It's a 1.121. That's the asking price. I would just offer them that. They have 2 other offers based on speaking with the seller's realtor. They're a little bit, but one of them's cash offer with contingencies. I would just like to offer this with minor contingencies, I suppose.
Yeah, you just have to make sure that it's a FHA loan.
Yeah.
And you need to make sure that if it doesn't appraise, if you don't get the appraised value, first of all, could you come out of your pocket the difference between the appraised value and
So
what you're
basically,
offering? If it doesn't appraise at that price, see the listing agent basically says, okay, well, I'm going to list it for this price.
yeah,
It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to appraise at that price.
correct. So I just got off the phone with my lender, and basically he was saying include like a 7-day appraisal contingency, but you can waive pretty much anything else you want.
Okay, you do want inspection.
Yeah,
Because it's built in 1920.
yeah, appraisal. Well, the seller claims, take with a grain of salt, that they have full documentation of their own appraisals and their own inspections that they are able to provide. But I would like to get it appraised myself as well, especially for the 2 back units that were not renovated.
Give me 1 second, Lucas. I got to move out of this. We have some folks that are cleaning the house. So I have on Fridays I have to move around sometimes. So
No, not
give me a second. Let me move this. Give me a second. I might lose my video, but we'll try not to. I lost the camera. Now you're dragging. Hold on a second, Lucas. Yeah, I went to the dining room table. It'll be a little easier. So, give me a sec. Camera. For those of you watching on Zoom, forgive me. In this Zoom world, we sometimes have to relocate. Can you still hear me?
Funny, usually I work in other rooms and we have a little Roomba that runs Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I'm usually moving around myself.
Not a problem. So we adjust, we overcome, adjust. Or in the military, we say should communicate and move on out. Let's see if I can fix this puppy. Too much light behind me, but we'll try. All right, that's a little dark. I wonder if it's this. Much light, maybe. I like the light, but if it's not good for the camera. How's that? Does that look a little clearer, a little lighter?
Looks good.
Can you see?
Yeah.
Okay. So anything's built before 1978, you have to do a lead-based paint addendum. That's going to be part of your addendums.
Mhm.
So you'll have to add that in there. Let me see, anything else? Like Kim, our broker, said, we have to add, since you want to have it vacant, we need to click on the box for the tenant to vacate. We need to do that.
Yeah.
And you have the notes on that, right?
Yes. After talking to the lender, he's also he's like a developer / realtor himself. He was mentioning that on the second page when we can include, where is that? Yeah, we can include that on a second page in other terms. It was
Okay,
mentioning.
so we do it as an addendum. I think that's basically what he wants us to do. So we just add an addendum form saying which you request, what your
Okay.
request is to have it vacant in what, 60 days or 30 days, whatever you're comfortable with on that.
Got it. Okay, so I guess
So do your submit offer form. Click on that. I want to see if it probably brings you into Glide, which is a great tool to use. All right, so you got to log in. Now, anybody that's watching this is a triplex that Lucas is purchasing. So what we're doing is we're creating a purchase agreement for a triplex, and we met with our broker in eXp World to ask questions. And Lucas wrote some notes on it, and we're just filling it out and sharing it with you. And if you need real estate assistance in Seal Beach or where you're at now, Marina Del Rey?
I'm Marina Del Rey. Bye.
Marina Del Rey, get a hold of Lucas. He is your guy. So I have to do a quick plug for you, my friend.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
So click, so that is the listing agent right there.
Yeah, I put in
Okay.
the address and it took me to this page.
Yep, go continue.
Continue.
And what you're doing is you're creating an offer. Now you're going to
Okay.
want to create a new offer.
The lender said it's going to be an RIPA form.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's go to the left side of your screen. It's going to say documents. Click on the left side, documents, click that. You need to put an RIPA in there. Go, you know what? Click up overview. Click on overview. Oh, there you go. Add forms to transaction. Click on that. There you go.
Is this
See where's
it?
the R? Yep, RRIPA. Yep, RIPA. Yeah, that's right. Or RIPA, sorry. All right, you're gonna click on that, which just showed up.
Exit or cancel?
Yeah, close that for right now. Okay, click on that. Now, the cool thing about it's gonna say what to fill in. You see where it says 9 warnings on the left at top? You see in
Yes.
red? Those are things you need to fill in. It pretty much walks you through the process, and you look at, you got to put your date prepared.
Today.
The address is already in there. You're the buyer, so you want to make sure you put your information in there, and it should drop down into your, well, I guess not, since you haven't used it before. So add yourself, and you're also the agent, so you kind of
Yeah. So I just
add yourself as both.
agent.
Yeah, actually, it says up top. It already is checked.
Oh, buyer.
See, it
agent.
says buyer agent and buyer. So
Yes.
you're already agent, so you could just add yourself to that transaction as the buyer. So you're fine.
Do I have to put in all the mailing address information?
Yeah, put that in there so that way it fills it in.
Got it. California.
Let me see if anybody else is trying to get in. Moses was to
Add all this name information.
Yep. Fill in. Do you know all the broker information yet?
Don't.
Why don't we come back? Why don't we come back to that? I'll get you all that. I'll get you that documentation.
Got it.
Yeah, I'll get you that. There's in California group, there is a important documents to download. So you'll have that on your computer.
Got it. Update profile.
Yes, only just transact. Yeah, all transactions, because you're going to need that for everything.
So
Okay, no other buyer. Okay, so you're gonna go, everything looks good. Oh, click the box, the buyer. You see that? You see where's the EGA homes? That's the seller. He doesn't have, but it's not a dual agency. Scroll down a little bit. See where it says the seller? Right there, yeah.
seller brokerage firm.
Yep, click on, it's not a dual agency, it's just the seller. Click that. And on yours, you're the buyer. Right there, good.
Oh, says
eXp Realty.
Realty.
Yeah, let me get you the broker. Let me get you the broker number. Give me a second here.
Is it?
If you ever have it, actually, I'm going into, I'm at eXp World, so let me grab it real quick for you.
Is it? What's her name? Brenda? No, that was Los Angeles.
Oh, our broker is Debbie Penny.
Debbie Penny.
Yeah. Give me 1 second here. California group. California State Group, and I'll give you the numbers you need in there.
Sure.
Important hints. Oh, license 01878277. Let me know when I need to move for you. Let me know when I need to move for you.
And then the phone number.
Phone number. Well, yours is actually the phone number you want on there for them to. I might have to move again. The vacuum's going to go. It's okay, no problem. You're doing your job. Not a big deal. We adjust when we need to. Give me 1 second, because I'm just going to move again. What other things do you need on there while moving?
I just need the branch. Phone number.
That's your, if you want the branch number, use 888-584.
888-584.
9427.
So 888-584-9427.
Yeah, that's our 800 number at the branch.
Okay,
office.
and then do I, or how does that work?
Pardon me?
Do I need to include a website?
No, you don't need to do that. That's just extra stuff. That's not a requirement. The ones you want is the brokers, ERA number, you want the broker's name, you want those things. Those are the most important. Anything legal is what you want. See how I'm coming in. Let's see. All right, there we go. I'm just gonna put this on my lap. It's easier. All right. So scroll down. All right. So you want to ask your lender what the interest rate is. It's a FHA, so you want to make sure on an FHA, you want to check the box FHA. You see where that spot is? Right there. FHA. You want to ask your lender what the interest rate, what the highest interest rate he thinks you're going to be paying, because that's what you want to put in that box.
So he gave me a 325.
Okay, put that in there. Actually, you need to put the loan amount first. Do you know how much the loan amount is going to be for? Actually, hold on, let's go back up a little bit. Expiration offer, you could leave it 3 days if you want. I usually do. I want to know in 24 hours. So when we're done with this contract, so say it takes us till 12. If we're done with this contract, then you want 12 by tomorrow, but it's up to you if you want to give them 3 days.
No, I mean, I would rather just give him 24 hours and.
Yep. I always like 24 hours.
Yeah. So what do I put in here?
Put the date for tomorrow, 24 hours. So tomorrow at 12 o'clock.
12
p.m.
I'll do till 8 day. I'll give him till 8 p.m.
Okay, that's fine.
Because I think you
gotta make sure it's clicked PM.
Let's do 12 a.m. on the 9th. Essentially, that's midnight of tomorrow.
Yeah, you could do that.
Okay. Because she's going to be presenting all the offers tomorrow evening, so give them an hour or two to.
Okay. Now, initial deposit is usually 3% of the purchase price. So figure out what 3% of 1.121. And if you put a number in there, what it will do is it will automatically fill out that percentage.
I just want to put down is this like earnest money?
Yeah, this is earnest money deposit, but to show them that you're serious, this is $1 million property. I would put down, what about 30,000? What are you comfortable with paying? Because that's money that you will get back if the transaction doesn't go through. You will get that money back.
Yeah.
So 30,000. Are you comfortable with that?
Sure.
Let's see what that is. That's 2%. So that's good. So no increased deposit. You're going to go to loan amount. So basically what you do is you take an FHA loan is what's it going to be, a 5%?
3.5%.
You're doing a 3.5%. So you figure out, okay, 3.5%, subtract your good faith deposit is going to be your, correction. this part always gets me. So I always have to go back and think about how to do it, because you have to subtract 3.5%.
And then add 1.75 as a premium, right? Percent.
Yeah, you have to break it down. So if it's a 3.5% total and you've already given 30,000, you got to figure out what the difference in that is. Understand? Because that 30,000 becomes part of your purchase price. So if it's 3.5%, it's not actually 3.5%. It's going to be subtracted your 30,000. Understand?
Yeah, so it's the
It becomes part of the purchase price.
so it's the 121 minus.
Because it's going to total it down at the bottom as 1.120 is what it's going to do. You understand? I hope I'm explaining it right.
Okay.
Where's my phone? I'll figure it out real quick here. So, like, I did an 80-20, right?
Mhm.
And it from I gave 3% down, and I had a purchase price, and it equaled to the 80% between the two numbers of the down payment as well as the initial deposit. So that number right there is going to be your 3.25% is going to be your total. I think I'm confusing you. Give me 1 sec.
A little bit.
Let me see how a better way to do this. So as an engineer, you just have to think, okay, well, you're giving 3.5, it's a 3.5% loan.
Yeah.
However, you're already giving
The
$30,000. So you just have to work those numbers. My wife is my number person. She usually breaks it down. I always have her double check it for me. Like, does this look right? Okay, so 1.121.
35. So basically 3.5% equals to $39,235 minus 30. So that leaves us with $1,235 remaining out of the 3.5%. So I have to add, so 1121 minus $30,000 plus
That's why I want to make sure I wasn't confusing you. So we got 1, 2, 1, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so you gave 2% good faith deposit. 2% was, that's wrong. That didn't come out right. Okay, so we got 1121 000 times 2% equals. So that's 22,420 is your
commission.
should be your good faith deposit if it was a 2%. You got 2. Okay, it's 2.68. Is that what that is?
Yes, 2.68. So
2.68. Okay. 2.68. That's where I'm wrong. 1121 times 2.68%. 30,000. If you're able to do it, why don't you do an even 3% so it's easier to calculate? 3% or even 2%, whatever you're comfortable with. I don't know what your bank account looks like, so it's whatever you're comfortable with. Normally it's 3%. 2% is still good faith deposit on a $1 million property. So it's up to you what you want to do.
36, 3%.
Yeah, 3% is easier to figure out the numbers because then we're not working with a dot. 2.68. What's that? Running out of time? Okay. Okay, give me extra 40 minutes. I don't know what that was, but add another 40 minutes, I guess. Okay, so so we got 2,1,0,0,0. This is one of the more complicated parts of this transaction is just figuring out the numbers and trying to make sure they jive in the when you're down the bottom, because we have to put an amount of the loan amount in there too. So we got to go minus 2% equals, okay, 33,630. Okay, so 33,630 is your initial deposit. So we're gonna do
1087370. That's the remaining.
hold on. So you're already doing a 3% down and you got a 3.5% loan. So wouldn't your loan be? Now I'm getting myself confused. Hold on. It's easier when I do 80-20. That's why it's more complicated. So 3.5. So let me go back. Let me pause this so we can finish this out. Look at the balance of the purchase price and subtract 33,630. That should give you your loan amount. 33,630
times point.
So your loan amount should be 1,053,740. Am I right? Try that. Try putting that in there.
So my loan amount. So basically if it's 112, so 1.121, if I put down 3.5%, I'm left with 108,1765. And then I have to multiply that for the FHA premium of 1.0175%.
Oh, I forgot about the premium. Okay.
And that brings me up to close to 1.1 even. So 1,100,695.89. That is my loan amount, I believe.
Okay, punch that in and see what the numbers next to it show, because it's gonna jive with whatever that is right there.
10695.888. Yeah, and that includes the FHA premium of 1.75%.
That looks right. That looks right. So the balance of the purchase price is going to be 976,674. That seems high.
Okay.
That seems high on the balance of the purchase price. So you got an extra there's an extra premium because it's the FHA.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it also because it's over $1 million? Is it a jumbo?
It's not. It's just well, when you're going with FHA, there's an upfront premium, and then there's on top of that, there are insurance costs.
Okay.
So the upfront premium is a one-time included in the balance of the loan, and then the monthly insurance costs are calculated based on with those two numbers added, essentially.
Okay.
At least that.
Did he give you a sheet that breaks everything down? Because that would make this one really easy. If he gave you a sheet with the interest rates and as well as how to break it down. I mean, that would be so much easier. Did I lose you? Oh, there you are.
Can you see me? Well, not see me, but I'm just pick up my phone.
Recording pause. Let's do this. All right. So we go.
See that there is 8 more warnings, so there's 8 more.
Yes.
Small. Wow.
Absolutely. So we got seller credit, if any, to buyer. That's going to be through you and your lender. We're not doing cash. We're not doing any of those. Verification loan, you need to have a pre-approval from your lender. So click that box. So you're going to have that before you put this offer in anyways. Click the pre-approval box. Unless he's planning on doing fully underwritten, that's up to the lender. Go to H36B.
This guy, pre-approval.
Yeah, pre-approval or fully underwritten. You don't want pre-qualification because that tells you nothing. So we'll say a pre-approval for right now.
Yeah, he's going to provide me with a pre-approval letter.
Okay. So you'll put that in this offer.
Mhm.
All these other ones are, just leave those the way they are. This is just, these are your contingency periods. There was something that you said you wanted to change.
Yeah,
on
so
the appraisal.
I want a 7-day appraisal contingency.
Okay, so just click that where it says 17 days on the appraisal. Down one notch. Put 7. Investigation of property. You want to have, you know what, I'm going to text you, who's calling me? Hold on a second. I'll get back to them. I'm going to text you my inspectors. I'll give you a couple of them. I have one, let's see. I have one lady inspector. She does an awesome job for me. I've used her a lot. And then I have one male inspector that I have that does an awesome job too. So either one, I'll let you interview them. I want to give you a couple choices. So I'm going to send that to your, I'm just going to send that to your phone number here. Let's see, where's, let me find him real quick. Mickey's awesome and she's really thorough. Actually, they're both very thorough. Honey, I'm on a Zoom. Let's see. I'm going to share my contact. Share contact. Okay, here's Mickey. And Haley Silver.
Get up.
Need your help.
Need your help, plus you need to be up.
Hold on a second. Let me put you on mute for a second so you don't hear family drama.
Sure.
All right, I sent you both Ray and Mickey.
Okay.
So that way you can interview them and see who you're most comfortable with.
And they're both inspectors?
Yes.
Home inspectors? Okay, got it.
Yep, they're both home inspectors.
What about an appraiser as well?
Appraisal is done by the lender.
The lender, the lender chooses the appraiser, right?
Yes, yes.
Got it.
So, okay, so let's go down. So the 7 days investigation, I would leave that the way it is. It's 17 days. At least it gives you enough time. You can always waive or you can always remove that contingency early. It doesn't mean anything if you just leave it like that.
Got it.
So you can always remove it early if you're comfortable with it. Everything else, I would leave those the same. Okay, so you have, scroll down to M1, since we're dealing with a property that has a tenant.
Units to be delivered vacant. So
How many units? Well, it's a threeplex and you're gonna live in one, so you want the 2 units to be delivered. Well, you want all 3 to be delivered vacant, right?
well, basically they're going to serve them with 60-day notice to vacate. And there's going to, the closing is roughly 30 days. So there's not, I don't think it's possible to have them delivered vacant.
Okay, vacant units.
Maybe it's
Tenant occupied units being delivered subject to tenant rights. Okay, tenant, seller occupied. Well, I mean, you want them vacant by when you go inside them. So all 3 of them, yeah, absolutely. So
safety, I guess, and then maybe we can include it as an addendum to.
yeah, we'll add that as an addendum because you said you wanted,
Of the paper has been served.
yeah, you want that addendum to show, yeah, this camera doesn't want to behave. It's just an angle that I'm at. Give me a second here. It'll put you on the hassock so that way I can see you and still do this. All right. So yeah, we'll put that in the addendum. There'll be another form we'll add to the contract. So
Or
delivery of
N1,
documents.
it's a seller delivery of documents.
Yes, they have to send you that. Leave that as 7. Leave that as 5. Those are fine to leave the way they are. That's fine. Scroll down and see what else we got here to fill out.
All of these guys. I think these are the other.
Items included. See, we need a list of what's included in the property because we need to know what is included.
So basically, all the
Washer, dryer, refrigerator.
yeah, washer, dryer, refrigerator, and yeah, just those
Washer
those
hookups.
washer, dryer, and
Okay, so put those in there since it shows it's included.
item included. All items.
Yeah, it's gonna be included because it's in the listing agreement.
Okay, so
Click on it.
Yep.
There you go.
washer.
I'll add all that time that we were trying to figure out the numbers. I'll just say numbers confusing in this situation.
Okay.
Buyer to get numbers from lender. At least we get this part done so people understand how the disclosure part works. You want NHD, you want the seller to pay for that.
What is it?
Natural hazard disclosure. You want to know what is in, around, and everything around that property. You want to know what natural hazards are. If it's earthquake, if it's fire zone, if it's flood zone, you want to know all those things. Click on environmental.
Where is it? Oh,
Yeah, you got it. Do you want to ask for, since this is built in the 20s, you want to ask for termite. You want to ask for termite inspection.
so
Click on.
I would be willing to cover inspection costs.
Well, if there's termite, it's very expensive to tent.
Well, No, just in the inspection.
You're okay? You don't want to ask for a termite inspection?
Well, they have an all cash offer, no contingencies, but it's
Okay.
sounds-
Whatever gets you, whatever you're comfortable with. I always
Yeah,
advise my
okay.
buyers to get a termite. So for those that are watching, always advise your buyer to get termite. Always advise your buyer to get natural hazard disclosure. In a cash situation, sometimes you have to adjust what you request
Yeah.
depending on how much you want to purchase the property. There's a disclosure for you. All right, so you're not going to ask for termite. Also, I want to let you know that there's other things that you could ask for. You could ask for, there's a list of like 20 different inspections you can have. The buyer is required to pay for those inspections, and the buyer is allowed to ask for any inspections they want. So if you have a single family residence, you ask for chimney inspection. If it's an older house, you ask for plumbing inspection.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times single
Yeah.
family residents have issues with pipes.
So all of those included in the due diligence period, right?
Yep, absolutely. It's all in the due diligence period.
And if I choose to pay for those inspections, I can pay for whatever inspections I want, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I think what the buyer or what the seller is wanting is basically she doesn't want to pay. She want to pay as little closing costs as possible, and that's fine to pay the extra $1,000 or $2,000 just to get all those inspections during my due period.
Yes.
And
so it also gives you, once you have disclosed, once they disclose basically what's going on with the house when it comes to inspection, or when you do your due diligence and get your inspections, if you see something that is like too expensive and you're like, this is going to be a money trap, you can back out because you're still in that inspection period and you have the right to do your due diligence. And if anything in your due diligence you're not happy with, you can back out of the deal and get your money back.
Okay. So smoke alarms.
Smoke alarms, sellers required to have smoke alarms. It's a code situation. Government, seller. Any of those are seller.
Escrow fees.
Escrow fees, buyer and seller each pay their own.
I'll cover these. They're not expensive. They're like a couple $100, right?
Okay. Well, usually I do buyer seller each pay their own with a single family residence.
Yeah, just to make it a little bit more appealing, I'll pay the extra couple $100.
Absolutely.
Owner
title seller.
County
seller, because you don't know what the fees are on those. I just click seller for those. There's no HOA, so you don't have to do anything with that.
Or should I just?
Just say seller, just in case. Private transfer fee, just leave that the way it is. It's assumed that it's a seller. I have no idea what it's going to be if there's any private transfer fees.
Okay.
Is this a probate agreement, or is there any probate? Did anyone die or anything like that, or is this just a seller just selling it?
To my knowledge, it's just selling it.
Okay. Additional tenant documents. There you go. Your income and expense statements. You want that?
Yep. Tenant's estoppel certificate.
Yep. That's what Kim was talking about. That's how they get them out.
Okay. Okay. So now this is the fun part.
So you want to put your request in there for getting it vacated. The notes that you took earlier.
Yeah.
Let me see if anybody else is on their call. I'm kind of surprised that let's see. Let me see if Shantae got my message. Let's see. Put myself on mute so you don't have to hear all the stuff going on in the background.
Okay, does that make, after buyer removes contingency, seller is required to serve the tenants with the 60 day. So basically after that, I'm guessing the 7 days that I put in for the inspection, all those contingencies. So after that, I would like the seller to, after buyer removes,
17 days. 17 days. You have 17 days.
I believe we chose 7.
Not an
7.
inspection. Inspection, you want to give yourself enough. That's appraisal. That's appraisal.
Oh, where's the inspection?
Oh, inspection, investigation of property is right there. It's 17 days. You really want to give yourself more than, I mean, give yourself a decent amount of time to get the investigation, because if you decide to get some other types of inspections, say maybe 10 days or 12 days or something, you can shorten it, but you want to give yourself a little bit of time, just in case the inspector's busy. And that happens sometimes. I wouldn't say 7 days. I say, you know, at least, how about 12 days? Because you've got to think about weekends too.
So that'll give me pretty much roughly, I'll give me 2 weeks.
Yeah, you could say 14 days. It's just, you're shortening it. You're making it happier for them, but you also want to make it so it's reasonable for you to get everything accomplished.
Yeah. Okay.
Like you probably do want to do if you can have somebody do a check on the pipes and see if the pipes are good. Because it's built in 1920s, you never know. You never know what you can run and check the roof, check the pipes, check the chimneys if there's chimneys. Check electrical. I mean, you know, your inspector will check electrical, but they can only go to surface level checking. If there's an issue, they can't go deep into it. So a lot of times you can get the inspector. After you get the inspector, you look at the things that need to be fixed. And then sometimes when you get that, it's like, okay, well, I need to get this done too. I need a further inspector for such and such, whatever it is. So that's why you want to give yourself some time to get inspections.
Let me just keep 17 for now.
Yeah, just leave it like that, because you never know if you're going to want to get any, you have the right to get other types of inspections. So
yeah. So once the buyer removes contingencies, after which is 17 days, seller is required to serve. I'll put that as seller required to serve the tenants with a 60-day notice to vacate property and provide proof to buyer. Okay, so cool. So that's what I wanted to do. What is next? Well, there's 0 warnings, so which is good.
you want your addendum. Remember, your lender asked you to do the addendum. So click on that and put 1. So it's just addendum 1. So that way you know which one.
What is this addendum?
This is what your lender had asked you to do, to put basically what you just wrote down. He asked you to put it on an addendum.
Okay.
So you could put that on an addendum as well, which you just typed out.
Got it.
Okay. No, it's not a 1031 exchange, so you don't need to do buyer intent to.
Right, buyer, short sale, probate, video wildfire. I think everything else is good.
You need a statewide buyer and seller. Always need that. So click that. No short sale. Wildfire disaster advisory, click that. Do you know if is this in a trust? Do you know if it's in a trust?
Not.
The
Basically,
seller. Click on
what-
the, you see the one that looks like a house? Scroll back up to the top.
this guy.
Go all the way to the top. You see a little house? It looks like a house. Oh, where it says Google. Right underneath the Google sign or the Google logo, that.
This
Click
guy?
on that. Yeah, click on that. That's going to open another window, allow it to open. Oh, no, don't
so
leave it. Why don't you open in another window?
Got it.
So you click on it, right click, open another window. There we go. This is going to show you what's on, it should show you what's on title, what's assessors. Yep, it's in the trust. You see Angelino Carmen Living Trust. So you have to, click trust, and then we'll have to add a form to it.
So
Yes.
trust advisor.
Yeah. Yep. You
Okay.
have to add that. And wildfire. That's a new form that our broker talked about the other day that we need to add those. All right. So scroll
Yep.
down.
Okay.
Scroll down. You're good. Go a little bit further down. Okay. Okay. So this is going to be, scroll up a little bit. This is all it's just showing, home warranty, things that you have to read through this.
Yeah.
And then you'll sign down at the bottom as the buyer. These are your disclosures. You got the condominium plan unit development disclosures. So you're going to get all these disclosures from them. Scroll down a little bit. Nothing different there. There's nothing you could change there.
Metals investing. It's all grayed out.
Yeah, all this stuff is just stuff that's just generic, that's in the contracts. When you have time, you want to read this. Okay, you got your periods, cancellation rights. Those are the things you need to know when if you decide to cancel.
Yeah.
Like you have the right to cancel buyer contingencies. You see that? So if you do cancel, you say C1 blank buyer contingency for cancellation. So see seller right to cancel, seller contingencies. If you do decide to cancel, you go back to this form and state the reasons for cancellation.
I see.
So that's just to show that. See, seller and buyer have the right to cancel for all sorts of reasons.
Yeah.
And they're all stated in the RPA and the listing agreement as well. Notice a buyer to perform, notice a seller to perform. Those are all things that are
Joint escrow instructions. That's just instructions. Yep. Who takes care of the escrow? Is it the seller side?
Well, you clicked on the box where the seller, it's seller's choice for escrow usually. But
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you, a lot of times agents have put seller's choice, and there is now a company called Seller's Choice. So
Oh,
to avoid that legal, I think I told you about that before. To avoid that legality or issue, having to pay a company called Seller's Choice because you put it in a contract, I would put listing agents or listing broker's choice, because that's not a company. But Seller's Choice is a official company now.
I mean, I guess that's kind of smart on their part.
That's very
Well,
smart on their part, because how many people put in contract Seller's Choice?
yeah. Where would I specify that?
When we put the purchase agreement together,
Okay.
uh,
There's something.
yeah, there's gonna be something in there. Okay,
This-
this is arbitration. You want a arbitrator. You don't want to see a lawyer. And that's why we do this mediation arbitration. Scroll down a little bit.
I don't check anything here.
No, nothing there.
Okay.
It's gonna be mutually agreed upon. See, you will sign there. See buyer's initial. Well, there, and also a little bit up.
There. Can I
And
enter it?
also you see the entity buyer. You're not an entity unless do you have a trust?
No, not at the moment. I'd be buying it under myself.
Okay, because if you had a trust, you would click entity buyer. Just showing you for future reference. If you have somebody that is in a trust, entity buyer.
Yeah,
So-
I would put this in a trust, but that's a little bit later down the road.
Yeah, you could always take a house and put it into a living trust.
Yeah.
You know, it's sometimes a good idea to do that, especially for death benefit and things like that. So you don't have to deal with probate.
Print a name of.
Yeah, you're already printed.
Okay.
You're gonna sign there. So
Is this by? How does that work?
yeah, when we finish this document, you're gonna put the signatures into all over the document.
Okay, it's going to be electronic.
Yep.
And then printed name illegally for a signer, title.
That's
do
if you are a entity, they put all
I see.
that stuff in there.
Got it. So nothing else here.
No, it's just gonna be your signature.
Got it.
And then after that, you're not doing a seller. It's not a seller counter offer. It's not a backup offer. It is an entity seller though. So click on entity seller. And then it's gonna say, basically you have to put what the name of the entity seller is. So copy that.
Is that the only one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Entity seller is, I think you have to put, is it in gray? No. Go up a little bit. I think you have to put the entity seller up there. And then who does it, I know it says a trust, but on the, who's it say the seller is? Oh, Carmen. Okay. So put the entity seller there. So paste, which you just did, paste there. And then scroll down, and where it says, let's see, name of the legal authorized signer. Put his name, Carmen Angelino, in that spot. There you go. That goes into that spot. You may
That's
have
right
to
then, right?
Yeah, that's right. So,
That's with it.
but the name of the legal authorized signer is Carmen Angelito. So maybe want to copy and paste or type that in there, because that's who's selling it.
Copy, signature printed. Where do I put that in?
Is it allowing you to put the name into that B3? Is it allowing you to put it in there?
B3, yes. I don't know if there's multiple people on this.
Honey, it's probably upstairs. You probably have to shut it down again. Yeah, that's the legal, it's the trust is selling it. However, when you went to put the offer in, that person's name showed up. So that is the seller
Okay.
that we know of. That's the only seller that we know of. Otherwise, it should have put two sellers in.
List and brokers. Okay, so let's just continue at this point. All right.
So
What
now-
else?
So now you scroll down a little bit. Here's a real estate broker section. Your information's there. Our broker information is there. The listing agent's information is there. So when we finish this, when
How
we
do I
finish this off,
Is there a way to change this email? I might have to do it in the settings.
yeah, you'll have to go into settings.
Okay.
Actually, that might be a car thing because
Yeah, it is.
whatever your email is, I think it's through car.
Okay.
You can put an alternative though, if you want.
Alternative. Okay. She's got a Gmail too here. That's fine.
Oh, there you go. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to, when you sign it and you get all of these done, presenting the
Okay.
offer is when basically when you're done, the date you're done is presenting the offer. The seller broker will have to, we go back and forth basically, but I'll walk you through that when we get to that point. Because we're going to have to click some buttons. If you get a counter, we're going to have to go back and look at the counter and decide what you want to do, things like that. But I mean,
Okay.
this is basically, you're pretty much done with the offer part. You attach that's seller buyer and seller advisory. All the stuff goes in there. Nothing's changed. All you have to do is you have to go through and do your signatures.
And how
That
do
right
I?
there is your consumer. Oh, when we get done with this, looks like your warnings are all filled up.
Yes.
There's going to be a button at the top that says save. You save it and you go to signatures, and it's going to start sending signatures out to you. And you download it and you send your approval letter with your offer in an email, and then you call them and make sure that they received it.
So
Always follow up.
So do I click the sign button here, or do I do it in PDF?
No. You do the sign button there, and it will actually bring you through, and you'll be signing
So
in the application. Pardon me?
So when I get done, so let's say I click sign. I don't want to finish the application yet. Can I sign them right now and then go back and fill?
No. You want to when you're ready to sign, you want to make sure all those documents, including the finance document that we were going back and forth with.
Yeah.
You want to make sure those are all ready to go, because when you go to sign, it's going to go into the system and it's going to walk you through where you need to sign.
Got it.
You want to make sure you're all ready.
Yeah, and then once I sign the very last line, it's gonna automatically upload it to as an offer.
Yep.
Brenda?
It will put it into Glide. It will be an offer. And then if you click in Glide, you actually can submit it from Glide to the email that's on the listing. So it makes it really simple. Once you get all this down,
Yeah.
it's actually a fairly simple process, but I could walk you through once we get to our next step to do that.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
So
I wanted you to make sure that you scroll down a little bit where it says,
which page?
hold
I
on.
kinda-
Okay, scroll back up. There's gonna be a mediation arbitration clause.
Wait, I clicked here.
Go to your overview again. Okay, go to, yeah, you're preparing the offer. Click on that. Click on the, no. Go to documents. Click on documents to the left. Right there. Okay, there we go. There's your addendum.
This guy?
No, go scroll up to the top. That's your addendum number 1. Remember we talked about putting which you were requested for the seller to have it vacant. You want to put that on that page.
So do I click on it?
Click on it. You can open it. Okay, so that's what you're going to put there.
So addendum 1.
1.
I don't know the exact wording. Can I go back?
Well,
and
you could,
copy?
yeah, you could copy and paste it in there, but I'm just telling you what needs to go in there and date it for today if you put the offer in today.
Oh, dated. Oops.
And it's incorporated as part of the residential purchase agreement, so you don't have to click on anything else on that.
No,
It's not
I'll-
transfer disclosure statement. It's not any of those.
got it.
But you can use that addendum for all those things that it shows to check. And then if there's an other, you can use it as for an other. The addendums are great. But if you can do it without using the addendum and using just the car forms, it's better because then you're not taking what could be considered legalese. You know what I mean?
So
the forms are there for a reason. They created them for a reason. So if you don't have to do like an addendum, don't do it. Only do it when, say, the lender says, okay, this is the way I want you to phrase it, so it protects you.
okay.
Understand?
Yeah. So well, the lender's not specific. So the lender.
Yeah,
This is
you want
more
to take that and you want to put that into
more
the addendum.
advice from a lender than a request.
But there's a mediation arbitration I wanted to show you. Go back one step.
Yep.
Okay. Mediation arbitration. Go to residential purchase agreement and joint escrow instructions. Nope. Down. Go down to the bottom.
Oh, this guy.
Right there. Yeah. Click that. Open that. Scroll down to page. It's at the end. So actually scroll down to the end so I can show you. Okay, scroll, let's see, is that the last page in that document?
This guy is
Yeah.
27.
Okay, scroll a little bit up. There's another mediation arbitration that has to be initialed, and I wanted to show you that. No, it's not the SBSA. Go back up.
Broker section.
And this
Arbitration.
yeah, mediation arbitration. There's that, but then there's another place it shows up.
Let's
Just remember, you always want mediation arbitration. Oh, there it is. There's
Where?
3 spots on there. You see right there?
I don't know what I'm looking for.
Liquidated damages right there.
Okay.
So what that does, liquidated damages is, see 3% of the purchase price?
Yeah.
Read that section. Now, a seller is not required to do that. If I am a seller and I don't see liquidated damages checked, I will counter it. If I'm a buyer either way, I want to make sure liquidated damages is checked, because what that does is it protects your client, which is you. That if you don't go through with the transaction, you're protected by your contingencies. And liquidated damages is saying they can only get the 3% of purchase price if anything happens and you are at fault. So this is showing what liquidated damages are. So they can't say, okay, well, you defaulted, I want your 3% plus I want another $10,000 because I had my house off the market for a year or 6 months or whatever. So that just says this is what is allowed to be as liquidated damages. That's why the 3% that you put down as a good faith deposit is the way it is. So that's what that is. That's just saying they can't go after you for any more if you've failed to follow through with the purchase agreement and you're past your contingency periods.
I see.
Understand?
And then this 3% is directly.
That's a good faith deposit.
That's tied to the 3% that I put down,
Yes.
right? So if I were to put 0.67%, that would also update.
Yeah. So basically what it says is if the buyer fails to follow through with the transaction through just failure to do something, failure to anything that they fail to do and they're past their contingency periods, that means the seller can have that money by law.
Okay.
By law, it's in the contract, so it's shown there. So you're the buyer and you get past that contingency period and you've say, I don't want to buy it anymore. Unfortunately, at that point, as a buyer, you failed to follow through with the contract. It's a legal binding contract and the seller can have that money. Not saying that they will.
Yeah.
Because it is in the contract. However, it actually goes to escrow. Escrow holds it. And if the buyer and seller can agree upon what to do with those money, it actually will go to court, or it will start with a arbitrator. And if the arbitrator can't figure it out, then it goes to court. But that's why we do arbitrator first.
Yeah. If it does go to court, side question, do I have eXp legal support for that, or is that up to me?
It is up to the buyer. It is up to the buyer. If it goes into a situation where any legal is responsible, it's the buyer's responsibility to get a lawyer, and we are out of it because we are not a party to that money. We are not considered party to that money. We're a party to the contract. And if there's anything that happens through that contract, we're supposed to back out of legal. We're not supposed to touch when it comes to the legal part. So what we do is we say, okay, say we get to a situation, transaction's over. There's something legal going on. You're done with the transaction at that point.
At that point, eXp kind of steps back, and then you have to find your own lawyer if you had to.
Yes. The buyer is responsible for getting legal representation if something like that happens.
I see.
Because eXp can't be pulled into it. We have errors in admission, and it protects us if there's anything that is as of not our fault. But if you look at it, if somebody does any type of fraud, errors in admission does not cover fraud. So if somebody is doing something illegal or fraudulent, errors in admission does not cover fraud. So if the seller is doing something fraudulent, if your seller, say you have a listing and your seller does something fraudulent, then that's going to be between the buyer and the seller. And errors of admission does not cover fraud. We don't do fraud. because,
Okay.
you know, we're very cautious on protecting our clients and ourselves.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean that the other person's not going to do something.
Yeah. No, I totally understand. Okay.
So I went down the rabbit hole on that one. I apologize to whoever's
No, no,
watching it, but I wanted to
I'd
make sure that we understood,
Yeah.
as a brokerage, we have to make sure that we're taking care of our clients and educating them that
Mhm.
if it gets to the point of liquidated damages and buyers and sellers are fighting over it, we are not party to that.
Understood.
So,
Okay.
okay, so
Um,
that rabbit hole is done. So you have that,
then-
buyer and seller advisory, wildlife. If you click on that,
let's click on wildlife. Is it just a simple signature?
yeah, read
is
through
this?
it. It's saying that this area could be, say you get your NHD, you get your natural hazard disclosure. The natural hazard disclosure may not show that the house is in a wildlife area. So this has to be done.
I see. And so with all of these forms, do I
Yes.
download them out as email, or are they all attached to this proposal once I sign the RIPA?
That should all be in that transaction. It should be all part of your signatures.
Okay.
When it should be all part of your offer package, actually.
So
So you have
what
to
am I?
do the trust still. There you go, trust advisory. Go in there.
Okay, so let's start at the top. There's only 2 pages, so that makes it easy.
Mhm. So that's just saying, you know, seller may be exempt because of trust. Scroll down a little bit, or scroll up a little bit, sorry. That's last. So it's just explaining all about, you know, trust. And that this person, it's a disclosure saying that this property is in the trust. And it's showing who the trustee is.
I see. Okay.
So that just has to be signed. And then they'll go over to them and get signed too. See? Sold by trust for truster.
Got it.
And then
So
go back
I
out.
don't.
You don't have to
this
do
is
anything. You don't have to change that.
okay. And then there's a couple brokers, buyers. Oh, I do. I would
All
have
that
to sign.
stuff you're gonna get copies of things from the seller that have all of this, Megan's Law, tax withholding. They're gonna ask you to do FERPTA, but to put the offer together, I think we have enough documentation.
Okay. And then
Yeah,
the
I think we
state.
have enough statewide
It's all
buyers
this.
and sellers advisory. That just
There's
goes through, it goes through pretty much anything you can experience in a transaction. It goes through everything.
Local buyers disclosures. If checked, the following disclosure are attached.
You're not really attaching anything to it. You're just doing that part.
Okay. Yeah. So it should be.
That's just disclosure on both the buyers and sellers part. That just has to be
Okay.
part of the
Touch.
transaction.
I don't touch anything here, do I?
Nope, everything is pretty much there. It's done.
Okay. And then this FHA. So that's my side. Looks like.
Yes, you have FHA.
Right,
This is
endorsement,
where
right?
I tell you that if a house doesn't appraise, technically they can't, FHA will not cover anything over the appraisal.
Yeah.
So that's to protect you. That's there to protect you. Just like a VA. A VA, if there is a VA buyer and it's one of those situations where it doesn't appraise, technically the VA buyer is not required to make up the difference between the appraisal and the offer.
I see.
So what it does is it protects the VA buyer, because a VA loan is insured by the VA.
Mhm.
So that's why when people say, you know, as a VA loan,
Is it
VA insures it. Pardon?
is it insured or is it guaranteed?
Well, it's guaranteed by the loan or by the VA.
Okay.
So there's
understood.
all sorts of protections that come in with the VA loan, and that's why I've used mine several times, and I
Mhm.
always advise veterans to use it because there's all sorts of advantage. No PMI, principal mortgage insurance,
Super percent interest down, or very low interest, 0% down.
very
Yeah, that's really,
low. And
yeah.
if
I mean,
you're disabled, if you're a service-connected disabled vet like me,
Mhm.
there's no funding fee,
Oh.
which could
And
save you about
about
2 to 3%.
and I think there's something else about making your house disabled accessible.
If you're
It
100% disabled, there's other things that kick in.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I read something, or at least during my classes, I remember reading that you can get your doors widened, your countertops lowered if you needed to. But okay.
Yep, the VA, if you are 100% disabled, I'm not sure if I know
But I think
100% disabled, you get a lot of advantages with the VA.
Yeah. The chances of
I'm not
getting
sure. Sorry,
that
go
from
ahead.
the chances of being 100% disabled from the government or from a veteran is low, right? Speak. I mean, the way
It
they
depends. It depends on the situation.
Yeah. No, I
Because
understand.
there's a lot of vets out there that are, I mean, they have to fight to get whatever they have, they have to fight to get it. And a lot of times, especially coming from a war, there's a
Yeah.
lot of things like the burn pits, but I won't get into politics, that are causing veterans to be disabled.
Yeah, one of my good friends, he's got the 100% disability. I mean, he can walk and talk and do all everything he needs, but all of his joints are all messed up, and just because he was a service guy on one of the
Yep.
planes in Air Force.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
but
So I think we covered most of what you're going to run into. You need to get back to your lender and
what is
have
this
them
guy?
help you with that first page. Leave it blank.
Leave it blank.
Leave it blank.
Let's-
Leave it blank. It's basically, you don't want to put anything in there because then you're saying what numbers are.
Okay.
Read that and see what it says. Actually, we can read it together. Expressly agreed, notwithstanding any other provisions of this contract, the purchaser shall not be obligated to complete the purchase of the property described herein or to incur any penalty by forfeit. So they can't take your money by forfeiture of earnest money deposits or otherwise, unless the purchaser has been given in accordance to the HUD, FHA, or VA requirements, a written statement by the Federal Housing Commission, Department of Veterans Affairs, or direct endorsement lender setting forth the appraised value of the property of not less than. So basically, you don't want to put anything in there because you're saying what number and you don't know. The purchaser shall have the privilege and option of proceeding with consummation of contract without regard to the amount of the appraised valuation. There's a loophole right there. The appraised value is arrived or to be determined. The maximum mortgage the Department of Housing and Urban Development will insure or Department of Veterans Affairs will guarantee. Neither HUD or VA warrant the value of the condition of the property. The purchaser should satisfy himself, herself, that the price and condition of the property are acceptable. So it's basically saying that you FHA and VA or any other federal agency, basically it's saying they can't take your money.
Yeah.
On here. So it does protect you. It also has a loophole right there. It says that if you want to continue with your purchase, you can. So it's there's two parts of that one. It's kind of a catch-22 if you look at the way that's written.
Yeah.
Because it's saying, okay, well, they can't force you to purchase if the appraisal doesn't come out. However, if you want to continue, you can. So it's
Yeah,
just
you just
allowing some flexibility there.
You're just gonna have to put up the delta or the other amount
Yep.
of money that it
Yep,
appraised
you
for.
can make up the difference if you are okay with it, but you're not required. You can't feel forced to do so.
Yeah.
So, but that's what that basically means. So you've been given a lesson on that little area.
Awesome. I think this is, yeah, this
Now
is,
I have to segue that I am not a broker of eXp Realty, just in case somebody does watch this.
Yeah.
And this is the knowledge I'm giving here is out of experience, 18 years of experience. So if I am wrong on something, I will apologize and I will go back and I will fix it.
excellent.
Well, you always got to protect yourself. You always got a CYA, right?
No, that's, I mean, 100%. I mean, why not? You know?
Yep.
So cool. Well, in that case, it seems like I think what 90% of the work is done. I just have to call up my
Yes.
lender.
Go
put
to
in-
your lender and go through that one page and
Okay.
ask him, say, listen, this is my first one. Help me fill out these blanks. And that's pretty much it.
Okay. Awesome.
And
And I'll
let me
fill
know
out.
when you submit it. Because you want to make sure you put your pre-approval letter in there.
Yes. And so
You also
is
want to
done.
do like I'm going to say an intro, but you can't do love letters anymore. You used to be able to do that.
Yeah, I was gonna do like a personal letter, just kind of explaining I guess our situation.
Be real cautious with
I guess
doing that,
I can always talk.
because you could talk to them. You could, when you put an email, you could put something in the email. What I advise you is you just have to be careful, because there's fair housing laws that are really, you got to ride that line. Fair housing laws are really strict in what you say. Like if you say something about family, that's a fair housing law. You say something about the 13 protected classes, that could be an issue. So just be real cautious if you put an offer and you start putting personal stuff, what you put in there. I'm just gonna cover your butt.
Yeah, no. If I say like, my wife and I are gonna plan to move in and manage the property, and pretty much live there full time, is that kind of right in line, or?
You could say, actually, for like I would say something like, love the area, love how close the house is to the metro. If you're going to do something, do it on the location and the property. Do it not on a personal.
Yeah.
That's the best way you could approach it. Do it on love the neighborhood, love the closeness to shops. I mean, be excited about what you're writing. However, avoid the personal stuff.
Yeah,
Does
because
that make sense?
I don't want to, get in that legal issue.
Yeah, you don't want to get into the fair housing issue.
Yeah.
So love the neighborhood. Why do you like the property? Love the opportunity for investment property.
Yeah.
Love the opportunity to have a great investment property in a great area, up and coming. You could say I've done research on the area, and I'm looking forward to all the amenities that the apartment has to offer. I mean, you could use something like that. That's real simple and it's not personal. and it's not touching any of the classes.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I'll include something like that just to
Just separate yourself from other people by saying something wonderful about the property.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, in that case,
Yeah, look up the 13 protected classes. That way you can have that in front of you before you
before I write
put it
something,
out there. Yep.
will do. Alrighty. I guess next up, I'm gonna call up. Well, I'm gonna get a phone call with my lender, get all the phone numbers figured out, and then maybe before I click submit, you can just take a look over it. Or
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
for the pre-approval letter, are we gonna be attaching to this, or is that
Yes.
gonna be really mailed?
Yeah, you're gonna want to add that to your offer, because then if it all goes the same, then they'll be able to see everything
click-
together.
Do I click this little button to upload a document or something?
Yep, you can add a document in there. Oh, you need the ABA. Hold on. You need the ABA. Give me a second here. Let me see if I can add it to see if I can send it to you. Actually, you know what? I'll send it in Workplace.
Okay. And then do I just
you need the ABA in there too, which is our business affiliation. Give me 1 second here.
Okay.
California.
Then download it from Workplace and then attach it to here as well?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you in Workplace. Or I'll email it to you. Either way. Let's see. Let me find it first.
What does ABA stand for?
You got the affiliate business advisory. Those are companies that eXp has relationships with.
Got it.
That all has to be part of your
Package.
Yeah, at least it has to be part of the final package. I mean,
Okay.
you didn't necessarily have to do it. I just thought about it as we're putting this together to at least have it so we don't forget it. Give me 1 second here. File. So ABA. So you want to go to the California State Group,
Let's see.
and then you want to go into. Let's see, where is it?
You know what's funny is that
Files.
the EXP
Go
button and the MLS are all the same logo. So
Yeah, funny.
whenever I go to look for Workplace, it always gets confusing. Okay.
Okay, so I'll send you the handouts too. Actually, you can really easily go into the California State Group. It's in the file section with the handouts. But give me a second. Let me find the ABA. ABA. There it is. ABA. There's a PDF file. Okay. I download it and I'm going to send it to your email. There's that. I was titled ABA and I'll attach it. Actually, you know what? Let me attach. I'm going to attach the ABA. I'm also going to attach the important workplace documents since I'm in there already. Okay, let's go back to.
Is it pretty much all of these guys?
eXp handout. It's just it's a handout for. Actually, when you go into California State Group, because there's a lot of files in there.
Yeah.
Just go into, there's a linked folder. It says eXp Realty of CA handouts for agents. So that way you should have it somewhere in your documentation, but that way you have it with all the licensing and all that stuff that you need.
Yeah, they all say private folder, so I don't know.
Nope, scroll up to the top,
This guy?
keep going up. Okay, right there. You may not be logged into, are you logged into World? Because it shouldn't say private folder. Are you logged in?
Yeah, I mean, it takes me to this private folder, to the Gmail.
Okay, so that's right. It has all the things, all the documents and checklists, and yeah, you're right. You're in the right place.
Okay.
There's orientation. There's lots of
Are any of these that I have to download to attach, or is that
there's
separate?
there's a SkySlope checklist. There's your policies and procedures. Yeah, you're in the right place. There's gonna be one folder that's gonna be important information to have. Helpful handouts. Yeah, right there. To the left, left, right there. Click on that.
The one.
Or is that already open?
Oh no, that's something different.
There you go. That's going to have all your stuff that's important about guidelines, advertising guidelines, express offers. When you have time, go through that.
Okay.
So
So
that first one has the brokerage license number. If you get into REO, it has a REO license number. It has all that stuff right there.
got it. So I don't have to download any of these to attach, right? This is separate.
Nope. No, you could just keep that. Just keep that
Okay.
there so you know it's there. So if you have any issues, you can just go in there. They
Understood.
try to make it pretty easy to find information that you need about the brokerage. So I'm glad we were able to go through this.
And
For
let me check
those watching, sorry so long, but this is documentation that you have to go through. You have to understand how to fill it out. And I hope it helps somebody out there that may be flailing around trying to figure out what to do with the contracts.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a learning opportunity for myself.
It takes time.
How to
It takes
navigate.
time to learn. It takes various challenges in the business because we've all run into little bumps in the road. That's why when you said it's a triplex, I'm like, okay, well, I've never done it personally. So it's like, okay, let's go to the broker and make sure that we're all covered.
Yeah. Well, now you can say you did it, right?
Absolutely. I learned a lot.
I don't know how much.
There's a first time for everything, right?
I don't know how different it is just from an what is it? RPA? What's the residential?
It's not that much different. It just has the tenant thing in there. There's a few others, but I mean the RPA it's fairly simple, especially since they updated it and made it everything like in one area, so it's not as confusing.
Well, I'm glad I'm learning on the new platform, not the having to relearn the layout.
Yep, absolutely. So let me know how I may be of assistance, and we'll end this one.
Additional files that I need to include, I will attach them, and then when everything is ready to be buttoned up, I might just give you a quick ring for just to
either that or you know what, you can actually go back into the broker room.
Yeah, actually I can do that as well.
Because she said to bring it back to her so she can go through it.
What time do they close? And what's the?
It's Friday. I think they're there till 5.
Till 5 p.m.
I think they might be on lunch right now.
Are they on Pacific time or like East Coast?
Yeah, Pacific. Because our all of our corporate stuff is originating in Washington, so we're all on the West Coast. That's why everything is Pacific Standard Time.
Oh, see, yeah, it's easier that way.
I think so, but the East Coasters kind of get confused.
They have a couple hours to get started before we open up, so
yep,
get a little bit of extra time to prep and take some
my friend.
out better for them because it takes them a little bit later.
I'm
So,
excited for your first offer and your first
Yeah.
property. That's so cool.
well, I might actually call up the seller's realtor and just present her my terms and see, how that would work. Or
You can
would you?
always, I mean, you can always, a lot of times I'll verbally talk to the listing agent to
Yeah,
see.
her phone number.
However, nothing, unless it's on paper,
Mhm.
it's not legal. So unless it's written and signed and executed, it's not legal. So
Yeah.
what they tell you on the phone, and
Yeah.
remember, you have to keep a log, keep a communication log, because we have to turn that into our files. It has to be part of our files. So keep a notepad or even an email. Keep an email section that says communication log, or if you're using Google Docs, maybe
Yeah.
have a Google Docs communication log, and as you're talking to whoever in a transaction, you're typing it down. So that way, when you put your documentation together in SkySlope,
Yeah.
it's not like fishing around trying to find what you said and who said it. And it protects you in a court of law if you have your communication log
Mhm.
in one spot. And try not to text, because text is kind of difficult to ascertain the meaning. Try to put it in emails, because emails are easier to send
Yeah, because
or
email
into your file.
more complete sentences, I suppose, right? So there's
Yes. Text
deep
is very, you
broke.
can't know what somebody is thinking.
Yeah. No,
There's
I
no
understand.
emotion to it.
Okay, no, I'll definitely do that. I do have a couple calls that I've already had with her, so I'll try to record the times and maybe
Yep.
sketch that we talked about just as a personal
Absolutely.
records.
So anybody that's watches this, make sure you have communication logs for all of your transactions. If you text, make sure you make copies of that text, put it into an email so you have them for the end of your transaction. And if anything happens, if God forbid you get taken into court, you have proof of what was said and what was done, and you're protecting everybody, including the brokerage. There you go. I'm glad we were able to do this, and
Thank you for
I'm
having
going
the
to
time.
edit it a little bit. I'll probably get rid of the area when we were going through the
Yep.
all the financial stuff. That way I keep your anonymity clear.
Sure.
And
Sure. No, thank you, Sam, so much for just taking the time out of your day to meet with me. It was a couple,
absolutely.
but I don't know. Seems like it was a bunch of information gained for myself, or at least a bunch of knowledge gained for myself.
Absolutely. More
So-
knowledge. Your head's going to be exploding tonight, but it's good
Well,
stuff.
get all this paperwork finished and submitted. So
Yep.
they're still under pressure here.
You'll do fine.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you so much. And
Welcome.
I stay in touch.
Talk to you soon.
Yep. Thank you.
Take care.